Hello, good morning. This is QTV This Morning. We are back again for another edition of your morning program. We're broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa. And good morning to all our viewers from around the world. Thank you very much for always following. Our brother Ibrahim Jawara in the United States of America. He follows this program a lot. And Banky in Madrid. And of course, Angela, our auntie Angela, she also is also a keen follower, and people that are following Gambia well, Atung to coin. Sometimes I receive calls from Basse or messages from Basse. That people follow this program a lot. So thank you very much for always following. And Mr. Adidrame is the co-host of this program. I almost, I didn't recognize you because you are mixing with the sofa. Your clothing and the sofa kind of look alike.
Almost. And which
tells
you that I wasn't expecting to be on the sofa today. But having said that, when you were talking about viewers from, when the Artemis mission went into, I wondered whether the astronauts were tuning into this program as well. Because we say we have from all over the world. What about outside the planet Earth? I wondered, so I'll check with NASA whether Artemis astronauts were. Mr. Bala Musa Kurbali, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr.
And you are our newspaper review guest. Thank you.
Good morning to you and Mr. Balde, and also to our viewers. It's good to be back here again. So those that were there in space, we're absolutely watching QTV because we are on satellite. We are everywhere.
Well, this is it.
Beyond planet Earth, I guess. Yeah.
So we'll take a look at the African code. From the code, we will be reviewing the newspapers with Bala Musa Kurubali. And of course, we'll also head to the next segment, Gambia's second School Sports Association 2026 National Athletic Championship Final. We'll be talking to Ismaila Cisse, President, and of course Lamin A. Jammeh, Secretary General of the Gambia Association.
You just scared half of the Gambia when you said Ismaila Cisse, President. President of what? Of the country? They might think you're talking about Dr. Ismaila Cisse.
Gambia School Sports Association. The abbreviation is too long.
I know, you should have just said GSSA.
So this will be our program for today. That's our program running order. The African code read, the sun does not rust, yet it never misses the day. But this is a repetition.
We've had this before.
Yeah.
Maybe it was interesting, and someone is like, can you bring that
back? I
back
really love that. Maybe you didn't delve
sometimes
deep.
Last week. But it's still the same.
Yeah.
But let's throw it to Bala Musa. Please.
Yes.
Bala, help us interpret this.
Read that again.
The sun does not rush, yet it never misses the day. Gradual process.
I think, it's trying to tell you everything is about time and process, Sometimes we tend to know that this is going to happen, but we want it to happen right now.
Yeah.
Even though we know it's going to happen eventually, but we don't want to wait for it to happen. We just want it to happen like right now. So I think it's trying to tell you that there are certain things that follows process, before it gets to wherever it is heading to. Like they say, every journey must come to an end.
Indeed.
So, yeah, absolutely. I think for me, in my own way, that's the way I'll
he's sounding like the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta. For the last 3 seasons, he's been saying to Arsenal fans, trust the process. Meaning, just be patient, we're going to win the league.
Even though this time they were so close that everybody thought they'll win, and now, fingers crossed.
Now it's looking tight.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's about patience and about not being impatient, because things that are meant to happen will happen, whether you want it to happen or not. The sun will rise tomorrow. It might not rise on everybody, because some people who see the sunrise today might not live to see it rise tomorrow. But nonetheless, the sun will rise. And, there's an inevitability about certain things. And so, just because you want the sun to shine now doesn't mean it's going to shine now. Absolutely. It will shine in its own good time.
I have a different interpretation.
That's fine. That's why these things are, that's why you have 3 different people.
It's telling you, just trust the process, At the end of the time, it will make sense. The sun doesn't rush. But at the end of the time, it never misses a day. You know, sometimes if you rush, you miss certain things. Just take your time, gradually, you know, go through the right process. There is no shortcut to success. At the end of the time, if you do the right thing, the right combination, the right formula, you would definitely be there. You know, sometimes Mr. Ade can be successful before me, or, you know, I can be successful before Bala, Bala can be successful before another person. But the thing is, at the end of the time, when Bala trusts the process, or Mr. Ade or myself, I trust the process, at the end of the time, things will work out for Bala Musa. Sometimes...
You know, we're waiting for you to land, because what you've said is exactly in line with what we said, but
yes,
you said you had a different one.
We have different
so
ways
please,
to kill the cat.
Please land.
There are different ways to kill the cat. So because, you know, for example, I mean, if a person is there before you, doesn't mean you won't be there. The only thing that is going to prevent you to be there is when you did not put that extra effort.
But let me help you here. Take a good example. Someone can be wealthy in his 30s, like very wealthy, you know, maybe, you know, you can be, let's say, considered to have a net worth of maybe $10 billion in your account.
That's filthy rich.
Or dollars. For instance, let me say dollars. Let me put it in our Gambian context.
Go ahead.
And someone else who have been struggling while you were that top man in his 50s will become way, you know, richer than you.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's different.
It's the process.
So, it's the process.
Trust
so,
the process.
And like, you know, in Islam, they tell us this, you know, we believe in, we have faith and we believe in Allah. So,
and patience.
And patience. But that will not stop you from working hard.
Yeah, go ahead.
Every day you wake up, you go to work, you do things you are supposed to do. But you also have this belief that what is meant for you will come.
Yeah.
But you don't rush it.
Yeah, sure.
Just follow the process. You work hard, you know, do your things and all that, and keep praying. Everybody wants to, you know, have big things in life. You want to be rich. You want to have money. You want your family to live a very comfortable life and all that. But in all that process also, you just have to do what people do to get to that level. You don't just sit and fold your arms and say, oh yeah, it's the process. You know, when the time comes, you know, it will happen. No.
There's one thing I do not believe. An individual that will sleep until 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. And an individual who will wake up early in the morning to go and struggle to make ends meet, those people, they will be totally different. Success.
Why?
The success will be different.
Like
because,
how?
Because this individual is putting extra effort.
Which individual?
You wake up early morning.
Okay, the one who wakes up early.
Yes,
okay.
you go and do your thing. You go and hustle. You go and struggle. You put things together. Then an individual who sleeps until 12 p.m.
You see,
I disagree.
Because it's you know, they have this thing about don't work harder, work smarter.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean because you put in hours. The guy who's sleeping, he might be coming up with brilliant ideas in his sleep. That's way better than your sweat. So it doesn't.
But remember, there are people also who work at night. So that person who works at night will not wake up. I mean, not just work, but there are people who do their stuff at night. And they don't wake up the time you wake up to come to work. The time you go to bed, the time you go to bed is the time that they are sitting and working.
I think
so I don't know.
I think Bala is taking it from the literal sense.
But you're you're taking it from the metaphorical.
No, what I am trying to put, what I am trying to put across is, I'm not talking about a person who is not putting effort. I'm talking about people that are putting effort. You can work smart. You understand? There are individuals that you know, they will not go to work. Nobody will see them working, but they are doing their thing. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the lazy type.
Oh, okay. Those who don't put any effort.
People that are lackadaisical.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Now, if somebody is lazy, that's different.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
I agree with you.
But the example you gave was the guy who wakes up early and sweats. And
but
you
should understand where I am arriving.
No. Because there are different, just like the proverb here, there are different interpretations to what you said. Like I said, the interpretation could be the guy who sleeps till 11 or 12. It might be because he's having all these brilliant dreams about what he's going to do once he wakes up, and he might achieve more in an hour after he wakes up than the guy who got up at 5 o'clock and was working up to that time. Because it's different people. I think we should give a shout out to our camera operators. And they're so and Teres Correa. We hardly ever mention people here who are behind the scenes, you know. But I think today we should give extra special shout out
at this point
to them.
Yes, we'll take a short break. Reminder, this is QTV This Morning. If you're just tuning in, you can sponsor this program if you want. I mean, call our marketing number on 324-4444, or you can send an email to qtvmarketing at qtv.gm. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from that break. This is QTV This Morning, and I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's move on to some of the papers that are making headlines. I mean, we have the Standard newspaper. NPP-led alliance calls opposition coalition talks delusional.
NPP-led alliance. Alliance is a kind of mixture of French and English.
Yes.
Is alliance in English? Sorry.
I think.
But I hear people say influenced by Senegalese.
I think you should be ready to rectify us all the time, because these are things that people mention a lot, and
they're not correct. Yes.
Sometimes,
like you hear people
we understand.
You hear people say temporal.
Yes.
When they mean
so
temporary.
we call it buffer zone, while it's buffer zone.
It's buffer zone.
You understand?
But anyway, let's get to the headlines.
So that is what it is. Yeah. So I mean, let's take a look at this headline. The coalition talk is delusional. Bala Musa.
Yes, that is coming from my Ahmed Fati, who happens to be the chair of the NPP-led alliance. Yeah. So, yeah, because when you look at it from a different angle, is all these opposition parties coming out to say different things. Like yesterday, I think we mentioned this here, where the GDC came out to say we are not going to be in any coalition talks where the UDP is. He mentioned that on Africa TV, Mama Kande, saying because UDP said any coalition that they are going to be in
part of
will not be like the usual coalition. It's going to be a party-led coalition where they will lead and other parties will come and endorse their candidate. But, you know, yesterday we saw a different thing. We saw GDC answer to the call of the Gambia, is it Alliance something? I can't remember the whole name. Democratic.
That's right, yes.
Yes. So because it's a civil organization, I think it's a civil organization. I don't know. I think, I'm not too sure. Civil society organization, good. So they invited all these parties to come together.
Yes.
And we see Mama Kande shift from what he said to something else now, you know. All of them are coming now together talking. But when you look at it, I think, Bala, yes, I mentioned this, there is a big difference between the opposition, even though some of them came out to say that is not the case, but that is there. So when you look at it, but for NPP also to come out to say, you know, the opposition is delusional and all that, I don't think so. I think
that's just political.
It's a political statement. To be honest, because when you look at the opposition, you can tell they are reading the situation. I'm sure some of them are convinced the only way they can bring about that change is when they have a coalition.
Yeah, sure.
And most of them are taking that serious now. So saying that it is delusional now is just a political statement.
Because when you're in opposition, you know, we once had a discussion here, and I think it was Mboch who said, you know, he'd seen this phrase that, you know, when you're in opposition, all you have to move is your mouth. Because you don't have to prove anything to anybody. Whatever the government are doing, anything good you will never mention. But the bad stuff you will say, if you elect me, I will fix it. Talk is cheap. Yeah? We've seen what happened in Senegal, PASTEF, when they were in opposition, all the noise they made. Since they've been in, they're behaving as bad as Macky Sall, arresting people, doing this, doing that. So when you're in opposition, you will say, we will be different.
Yes.
It's easy to say.
But those are statements that we expect from opposition.
You know, so these kind of exchanging of words, it's delusional, it's this, it's that. You expect it. It's an election year.
Yeah, and also one thing is there, we need to consider, having a coalition now is going to be very difficult. There will be, I don't know whether there will be one or two, but we see from their activities currently we know, you know, obviously there will be a coalition. But the terms that will bring them together will be before they establish those conditions or terms will be very difficult because of the experience of the other parties who were involved in a coalition in 2016. We saw how it all ended. You know.
But I believe they are going to play their cards right as well, because they will learn from the past mistake.
Yes.
Because any agreement that is supposed to be made, it should be binding.
Mr. Ade mentioned this on the show here. I can remember. He said, when we are taking examples of a coalition, let's not go to 1990 or look at other countries. Let's look at the Gambia, and that is 2016.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. You know, so
So National Center for Civic Education reminds voters attempting deceitful registration risk jail term of 500,000 fine.
deceitful registration.
500,000.
There's a fine. So this is a thing that keeps coming up time and time again, because we hear all the noise, and we heard it yesterday. We heard SFL talking about, you know, people being, and I said, you know, there are fines if people try. We've heard of people being stopped, people being arrested, but I think we will hear this noise until election day and after election day, depending on who wins. Whoever loses will claim that the winners registered people from Venus and Mars and everywhere else. So yeah, I think we're going to hear that. But yeah, the thing is, you know, since I've been here, I'm not aware of any case being taken to the revising courts, which the law says if you have evidence of that somebody has tried to perpetrate electoral fraud, you can take it to that court. And you have opposition parties led by lawyers, and yet you think, what, they don't know how to file a case? Come on, file your case.
Because, you know, so even in 2021, after the registration, I think the courts, they did announce that the revising courts are open
for people.
And you know, in all the regions, it was across the regions.
We visited, and we saw nobody walk through the doors.
Walked through the doors. And after the elections, you know, when the NPP won, we saw different allegations about, you know, giving voters card to foreigners and all that. But okay, this time we are seeing a different trend. You know, we already, if you looked on social media, if you check social media on a daily basis, you see, you know, a lot of issues about birth certificate, about attestation and all that. But trust me, Mr. Ade, for me, I think Gambia should do away with the issue of attestation and birth certificate. Like someone who is 18, as a parent, like my son is 6 now. He has a passport. You know, so I can imagine a grown-up, someone in his 30s, going to a registration center with an attestation. I know it's law for now, it's law, but I'm just trying to say we should do away with some of these things. Let's be serious with ourselves. Everybody born in this country, every citizen in this country should have either an ID card or a passport. So, you know, because these issues of attestation and birth certificate, as far as we don't take this out, we'll keep having this issue.
Well, I'll tell you, most people do not attach importance to these documents. You know, the only time people attach importance to these documents when you need something,
or when you're
and they tell you go and get this. I mean, we have seen instances where people need urgent passport. You understand? So what is this telling you?
I think
for passport I can understand, but for ID,
and
I
think part of why we're having this conversation and why we hear these allegations is because, if we're honest, we know ourselves. We know how easy it is to get a fraudulent ID. We know of cases where Gambians who were abroad and were arrested and were known by one particular name, they sent people here, and there's what, I won't mention the case because I don't want to get the guy in trouble again, but it's a well-known case in Germany, and they sent people here, and you had officials, Gambian officials, swear affidavits that this guy was known by this name, when everybody in my office knew him by another name and know that that was not the real name. And yet a Gambian official swore an affidavit that, yes, this is the guy's name. Completely fictitious, different name, different date of birth, the same guy. So we know that you can bribe people for anything here,
I would have,
and that's why we have this.
I would have objected, you know, the name change here in the Gambia. Sometimes you can change your name. Look, but when you talk about the date of birth,
do you want me? I can listen. Don't force me to name the individual, because it's not a fictitious one.
But names change.
No. Names change. That's fine. Names can change.
But the date of birth.
But you can't change somebody's date of birth and for that change the person essentially. Of course, names can change. You can start calling yourself Sir Galahad.
Look, having said all these things, I think, you know, it's about the law. The law for me,
electoral reforms, we should do away with.
Yes, we should do away with some of these things. you know, and be serious about
Yeah.
about the electoral process of this country.
Right,
But as far as we keep using this attestation, this birth certificate, these things will keep coming up. We've seen a National Assembly member who is alleged to have, you know, forged
Tried
some
to.
birth certificate. We have seen in Tanje, and allegedly an NPP agent as well, who is said to have, you know, who was caught in possession of, I think it was about 50 birth certificates and all that at the registration center. So all these things. But when we change the laws, we have, you know, we do away with all this attestation, with all this birth certificate, with strictly IDs. I'm not saying there won't be fraudulent acts, but at least it will minimize all this chaos we have right now. And the NCCE have a lot to do, Balde, because this period, this is the electoral. We have just, and we've gone to enter the. Sorry, we are already in the electoral cycle already. Because 2026 presidential. After the 2027, we have the National Assembly and the local government. So they have more to do to sensitize people about documentation, about the registration process and all that. They have a lot to do because they are given that mandate by the Constitution to enlighten the citizens about their right, you know, about things that they're supposed to know as citizens. So I think, you know, they should
I've realized something. I don't know whether it's kind of a little bit surprising. They are giving out voters card registration to people. People that
supplementary.
Supplementary. People that lost their voters cards, you can go and replace them. You understand? But I've not seen a lot of activities. You know, when it comes to, you know, people scrambling for voters cards. I've engaged people that, you know, they lost their voters cards, but they will say, okay, I'm not going because and
those are the same people who will make a lot of noise online, you know. So, Balde, for me, even Korka, his last tweet talk, you know, he did this. He was asking people, do you have a voters card? Are you 18 and all that? Among all the people he asked, the young people, there's only one who was actually 18 and who said, oh, I don't have it, but, you know, I intend to get it tomorrow because I'm told they're at our area now. So that will tell you still, like I said, this National Center for Civic Education have a lot to do to enlighten citizens about what our rights are. You find, I'm a Gambian. It's my right to live in the Gambia, it's my right to do this, but also it's your right to take part in the electoral process of this country. It's very important. So I feel like a lot of Gambians still don't take that serious. That's why on election day you go to polling station, Balde. All these young people, all this noise we make, when you look at the queue, if you have 20 people on that queue, trust me, 12 or 13 will be elderly people.
Oh, yeah.
You will only see 7 among the 20 who are going to be young people. So
and most of them are women. The number of women that vote in this country, it's a lot.
Like some people will say they cannot go to polling station and spend like an hour, you know, waiting on the queue. But we have some of these elderly people who will go with their chairs. They will sit on the queue and sit, you know. So these are the people who make the real change. And now we are calling ourselves the future of the, you know, the future leaders of this country and all that Gen Z thing and all that. We have to be willing to take part in the electoral process of our country if we want to make the change that we are all calling.
So on a different vein, the port workers protest over poor working conditions under new management.
Yeah, so this is all port. So they were transferred there and their conditions of service were transferred from government to this private entity, which under the terms of the agreement, they get 80% of because of the amount of money they're supposedly put into kind of rehabilitating the port, digitizing things, and the government gets 20%. But what they're saying is that the terms and conditions that were agreed were not favorable to them, have not been favorable to them, and even worse, have not been adhered to. So they're saying, you know, late salary payments and so on. So they presented a petition. We did a story on it on the news last night. It was our second story.
Well, I think, you know, President Cisse was here the other time, the General Transport Union president, but on a different cap. I mean, the Labour.
Is a Labour Union.
Labour Union, you know, I believe those are the kind of things they want to address and, you know, it's part of their mandate. So
yes, it's about collective bargaining. So in the UK, they have the Trade Unions Congress, TUC, which is a kind of umbrella body for trade unions. And so sometimes when one trade union says we're going on strike, others, but then they brought in a law saying that unless you are in the sector that's directly involved, you're not allowed to strike in support of another union. That was brought under Margaret Thatcher. And even subsequent Labour governments that came in didn't rescind that law because they liked it. So if it's, for example, right now as we're speaking, the underground workers in London are striking. They're on strike. So if you have the tube, the underground stations, they're all closed yesterday and today, I believe, in London. But only they. You can't say we're striking in support of that. That used to happen a lot, and they would bring the whole country to a standstill in Europe. But now, this new union, I'm quite intrigued to see. They talked about collective bargaining and so on. It will be interesting to see whether they step in on this particular case to support these workers.
Yeah, I think what is happening at the ports, I think, have been ongoing for some time now. Before we saw them came out they came out before to talk about the allowances, overtime, because before Alport took over, their working hours used to be from 8 to 4 p.m. And when they took over, they extended. Sometimes I think they work to 8 p.m., and all that. Yeah. So their allowances, overtime allowances, have not been paid for more than 6 months or so. So, but this time it's different. They're talking about the general working conditions. So it seems like the working conditions on the GPA, they're saying is far better than the working condition on the Alport. And we haven't seen the petition entirely to know what is there. But that is an alarm. I think that is something that GPA should actually look at, because when they were signing the contracts, I had the GPA manager, the director general, came out to say, we've agreed that the staff are going to move to Alport, and all the benefits that they're having currently will all move. They are going to enjoy all those benefits.
They're not going to lose out in any way.
So they had a meeting with the staffs. They convinced them that everything you are getting now is what if you don't get more, nothing is going to be deducted from what you're getting right now, but they are experiencing a different case, at the port right now.
So Observer 24, Gambia Action Party denies involvement in coalition talks.
Gambia Action Party.
GAP.
So they are denying it,
And the denial means that they've made the headlines, because I don't know if anybody mentioned that they were there, but anyway.
Well, for me, GAB, I think they are not very active on the ground, based on what we see. I know they're very good at releasing press releases whenever something happens globally. They're very active with that. I would give them that. They will be the first to come out and put out a press release to condemn this or to support this, support that. So saying that they are not involved in any coalition talks, okay. So let's see, maybe this time around they intend to put forward their own candidate, to contest the 2020.
Or maybe they should have included the word yet. Not involved in any coalition talks yet. Because as we've said,
they were part of the NPP-led coalition, but at some point they
withdrew.
With PPP.
Correct.
So National Road Authority warns against illegal installation of speed bumps.
Yeah, I didn't know that anybody was.
This yesterday. Oh, we posted on
the social media page. Yeah.
So
when the first I heard,
when I saw it, I was like, oh, interesting, because where I live, Mr. Ade, my car, the vehicle I used to have, it's very soft. Whenever I have stuff in the car, when I'm going, I always hit the speed bump.
It will drag on the bump.
And the speed bumps usually are not made by NRA.
Right.
Usually it's the community that just want to go, oh, this vehicles, the way they speed here is too bad, so they just put concrete together and they leave it like that. And it's very bad for your tire, in fact. It's not good. So that's why when you ask your colleague, Babukar Sise, he will avoid that road. The Talinding backway, Babukar will always avoid it, because he also has a
low vehicle with a low axle.
So for me, I saw some people saying on the comment section, why not begin with removing the bad ones that are already on the highway, the ones that are there illegally. Why not begin with removing those, replacing them with proper speed bumps and all that. That is, if you think they should even be there. Maybe start with that, and then you can also warn people, or send a strong warning that no one is allowed to do it. But communities will.
But sometimes, I know it is illegal to put up speed bumps at certain locations. For my area, you understand. Now and then, you'll see a vehicle hit a child all the time. It happens. In fact,
the new road
on the Mandinaring Junction.
Okay.
One incident happened. In fact, I was there. I was the one that carried the child. You understand? So the people of the community, they came. In fact, we did not. We didn't even put up a speed bump. What they wanted to do was to cut the highway and put a big trench,
like a
sort
big
of,
trench.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, so you can see these are things that NRA should do. They should come and look at certain locations, okay, and put up speed bumps. A place where cars will speed, and you have a lot of
But
people
Balle, what
going
they're
up
also
and down.
telling you is NRA is not there to know exactly what is happening in your
took,
community.
You took literally the thought right out of my head.
NRA, they made it clear, if you think,
and
if you identify an area
That's
where there should be speed bump because of the way
They
vehicles
can't be
speed
everywhere.
there, go to their office, they will give you a permit and they will support
And
you.
you will be
to
surprised
fix
to
it
know,
properly.
you will be surprised to know, the community sent several messages to NRA.
And got nothing.
For
Okay,
there
I
to
think
be
we
a
should
speed
engage
bump.
NRA on this.
I think so.
You know, we should engage them
Bring
on
them
this.
in.
Yeah, you should invite them on the morning show.
So
to come
you
and talk
can
about this.
see each person should take up their responsibility.
Yeah.
The community should not put up illegal speed bumps, but NRA also should come and look at certain locations and know this
But
is
some
a
of these
population.
speed bumps, like where I live, they cause floats. Like
Yeah.
big time
got
in rainy
floods,
season.
so-
Because you know what? They will block waterways. Like they will fix it on the highway. So when it rains, the water will come and
It's
then go into
go
people's
into-
houses. It happens in Talinding every year. So you will see the same people who will fix these speed bumps will then come out and then
And
split
start
it in the
digging
middle to allow
the
space for
water.
water.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. For the speed bumps on that road is very bad.
Yeah, so
you know,
they-
I use it time to time.
They are
you
Not
know,
all the time, right? Because the speed bumps
time
are
to
bad.
time because of
So
the
you
speed
see?
bumps. You know, but we should all take up our responsibilities. Thank you very much, Bala Musa, for reviewing the stories.
So lots of things we couldn't delve into, but hey, yeah.
If you
Yeah,
want,
one
we
interesting.
can do one more story.
Yeah, so one contentious one. Minister Cisse from Observer still, Observer 24. Minister Cisse says media regulation will not proceed without stakeholder consensus. Remember, he was saying, I don't care if they attend or not. In fact,
Yeah,
I want them to boycott. Now
Hot
he's,
mic.
because even a couple of days after, he had kind of changed his tune,
Yeah.
and he said he wanted it to be a kind of a thing where there was consensus around the whole thing. And you can't impose something, because I thought that if he tried to impose it, even if he took it to the National Assembly, I think because of the kind of anger there is towards it and the lack of consensus, that it wouldn't even proceed, even if it was something they wanted to bring in. So it will only come in. And as we keep saying, countries in our region have it, you know.
But remember, I mentioned this to you. There should be dialogue, you know. And
yeah,
I'm happy
indeed.
GPU also came out yesterday. I saw a press release saying they're going to engage the ministry. They will have a dialogue where they will have representative from the Gambia Bar Association.
Sure.
I'm so like, okay, that's we are going ahead now. That's this is what should be done. You know, that in every issue, I think every situation that we are in, we should just dialogue.
So
but when the minister stands there and says this, and the GPU says that we will not come to an agreement, and we have to, because the regulation, in as much as you will agree with a lot of the clauses there, but there are some that are very important that we should have, you know, to be honest. It will help us in terms of regulating stuff, and also, you know, having a professional and a standard media landscape in this country. So I'm happy to see that, you know, we are forging ahead, and, you know, there is room for dialogue now.
I mean, Iran were attacked by the USA and Israel, and as we sit here, what are they doing right now? They're having talks.
They're having talks.
It's the only way.
So at the end of the time, we will all end at the same thing.
Yes.
You know, so it's
we will
important.
agree to disagree, you know, and then at some point we'll, like you said, we'll come to an agreement.
So viewers, we'll be right back after the break. This is QTV This Morning, and I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for joining us. Now let's move on. Gambia Second School, Sports Association 2026 National Athletics Championship Finals. Mr. Adedrame.
Yeah, you're going all French on us today.
I'm moving it to
It's
French.
Athletics Championship Finals.
So we have Ismaila Cisse, President, GSSSA. And of course, Lamind A. Jammeh, Secretary General. Gentlemen, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And now neither of you look like school children, so but please, on a more serious note, National Athletics Championship Finals are happening, and who wants to go first about what exactly we can expect?
So let's start with the president.
President, please. Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for having us here today. The preparations on a high gear at the moment. Yesterday we had a press conference to inform the general public about the D-Day that is starting tomorrow. Today also we'll be having a coordinating meeting with the various coaches, that is the PE teachers that are coaching the various athletes in schools. From there also, we are expecting a very exciting championship this time around because the number of athletes have increased nationwide. Every region comes with a number of qualifiers. Region 2, West, that is the biggest region with the highest number of schools, is coming with 4 qualifiers per event.
Okay.
And then Region 1, that is KM and Banjul, are coming with 3 qualifiers, while Region 3 and 4 are coming with 3 qualifiers, and then Region 5 and 6 are coming with 2 qualifiers, and Region 5 North is coming with 1 qualifier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the athletes will be competing for various events, right, from 100 meters, 200 meters, both field and,
So track and field.
Track and field events,
Okay.
yeah. And then this time around, we are expecting to give out, to certify every athlete that participated in the national championship.
Okay.
Because regional championships are always very keenly competed. So anyone that happened to qualify to the national championship means the person is up to task.
Okay.
And then therefore we are obliged to give them, to award them with certificates and also a handsome prizes upon winning their events.
Sure.
Anyone that comes out first position will always be given a handsome prize.
Are you able to reveal what that handsome prize is, or is it going to be a surprise?
It's going to be a surprise.
A surprise prize. Okay.
A surprise prize.
Can we bring in Mr. Lamin Ejame, the Secretary General, please? So people watching will be asking various things about the facilities, where it's going to take place, and of course the date, most importantly. And for myself, as a former athlete, you said track and field. Do we have things like javelin, discus, pole vault? So if not, which ones are excluded? Because those are all things that I competed in, but I don't see that we have the facilities for all of those. So if you could just tell us, I know it's a lot to.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like he rightly said, the people are very much eager for the day to come, because schools have been preparing for this for almost about 9-10 months. Because in the past people just prepare 2 weeks before the competition, regional hits, but now people have taken it as a trade now, and they prepare for it very, very well. So that's why the excitement is very, very high for the day. Then we have been doing it for a while now, and then every year and year out we improve. And this time around we are even going to do more, because I'm also happy to state that we are partnering with QCell, and then they have also promised that they are also going to come and add branding to the program, so that's also going to give more color to the program, to make it more colorful. So that's going to be part of it. And then meaning now, the way we do it is going to be like, right now it's going to be like an international model, whereby when the athletes win, there'll be a place where they're going to conduct an interview with a very good background, like a drop-down banner will be prepared. And then also we are going to have a podium where the recipient, those people who are going to receive awards, and then their positions, prizes and whatever, because medals also going to be provided. Bronze, gold, and silver will all be provided. So there'll be a podium where all those things will be awarded to them. So that's going to make the program very colorful. Equally, we also have various events. Unfortunately, we don't have javelin, discus and others. But we have track events like short distance track event, 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, 800, and long distance like 1,005 and 3,000 and 5,000. And then also all the four field events like shot put, long jump, high jump, and triple jumps, all will be part of it.
So when is this day?
The date.
Yeah, the date is going to be tomorrow on Thursday, 23rd.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, already tomorrow.
Oh wow!
This is why they're here.
To Sunday. In the past, we used to have it only 2 days and we finished. But due to the number of schools that are interested to take part across the length and breadth of the country, that has now prompted us to change our way of doing things. We try to model it like that of Olympics now. We have the semi-finals, like hits, and then the final. So the number of schools per event or the number of athletes per event is 16. You know, 16 athletes per event.
Sure.
So those therefore is going to be divided into 2 groups now, Group 1 and Group 2. So they will have their semi-finals, and then each group 3 will qualify automatically, and then that makes it 6. So we'll now have 2 best timings. Based on their timing, will be added to the 6, make it 8, and now go to the finals. So that also will make the final very, very interesting.
And the venue?
The venue?
Venue is going to be at Bottrop, Brikama,
Okay.
you know, Bottrop Senior Secondary School.
Bottrop.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, are we thinking of improvement in the future? Maybe we get a flatter ground, you know, a better place
in
to
terms
do
of
this.
the,
Because I'm saying most of them will do this on the sand.
On the sand, yeah.
Yes.
We used to host our championship finals at the stadium.
the stadium, yeah.
But you know, the stadium is under renovation now. So, and this year, in fact, we were hoping that by the time we stage the finals, the stadium will be ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we were making follow-ups with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The Honorable Minister, in fact, at some point, was optimistic that before the date, the stadium would have been ready. But unfortunately, it's not yet ready. So we are hoping maybe next year we will do our championship finals at the stadium. Yeah, that's the only place that have tracks.
So in terms of the sort of spectators, there's room enough for spectators at Bottrop, and so on, because of course, given the number of that, many of them, their family members would want to come and see these people performing and competing.
Yeah, we have put all those things into plan. Like we have a special area where we are going to call it, because it's a local ground, although, but still we try to create that space. We have a space where we call it like a VIP sort of, where seats will be provided. And we are trying to ensure that the place is a bit secure, so that when parent comes, because now parents are very much interested to see their athletes, you know, performing. Exactly. So they want to see them. And then authorities also are going to come. The minister, because our last occasion that we held at Basse, the entire ministry, the minister, permanent secretary, and all the directors were all there. They all graced the occasion. And they have seen the level of work that we have done and the level of interest that people have. And then the crowd was just too big. So I believe good number of them again will come. So we have tried to create that plan in place so that when they come, they'll have a very comfortable place to sit. Equally, there is a space where the athletes also will be gathered, you know, at one end. And then the open space now, all the spectators will be, because Bottrop is a very big space. Although we don't have the seats where they can sit, you know, like a pavilion sort of, but the space is very big, and then it can accommodate a lot of people. Like the regional hits that we had, the crowd was overwhelmed, and I believe this time around is going to be
bigger.
But we try to ensure that the securities are also in place, so that they try to help us in crowd control.
In terms of officiating individual events and so on, who provides the people who actually do these things? So, you know, if you're doing the long jump, the high jump, or you're sprinting, the people who actually, the officials who are on the ground, where do they come from? Do you work with GNOC at all?
GA, we work with GA to provide us with officials.
Gambia Athletics.
Independent officials who are not connected to schools.
To any schools, that's what I was getting at.
There can be that independent officiation.
Okay. Now, Mr. President, one of the things we hear every year is about, we've heard of schools being banned for you know, putting forward, you know, athletes who are not eligible. So if people put ineligible, and some schools that were banned have since been unbanned. I remember there was a press conference not long ago. Is that still a problem? It still seems to be a problem, but is it lessening now?
Yeah, this time around, there is no school that is suspended or been banned.
Right.
You know. At least they have learned
lessons the hard way.
Through the hard way. And because we are all that effort was geared towards ensuring that there is no cheating.
Yeah, correct.
You know, less cheating, because you cannot stop it 100%. But at least we want to ensure that at least the athletes that are graduating from schools, they graduate with the right ages. You know, so that, you know, from school system, the GA will, you know, continue with them to the junior championship and so on and so forth. But, you know, our problem in the Gambia in sports is the issue of age. We normally, you know, dock to our birth certificates and all whatnot.
The discussion we were having before you came on in another context.
And then, you know, when the moment we transit to the higher level, our career is very short.
It's short, yeah, quite.
It becomes short because we have doctored our age,
Yeah,
at a very early age. So that is a problem, and that is why we, the officials at the Secondary School Sports Association, we want to discourage that.
Yeah.
You come to school with the right age, you continue with that age until you graduate.
Okay.
So the moment you are over the required age, we don't allow you to participate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then because the rule states that upper basic school is 3 years,
Right.
and then senior secondary school is also 3 years.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 years, in upper
Just,
basic
yeah.
school, you have the possibility of repeating the class once.
Yeah.
If you repeat a class twice, then that means at the senior secondary school level, you can only be there for 3 years, and then even if you did not graduate, you repeat, you cannot participate in our
Right,
championship.
Right.
So the rules are very clear on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, let's talk about the partnership. I mean, are you
With
partnering?
QCell.
I
mean apart from
apart
QCell?
from QCell?
Right now, QCell is a partner. I can say the only official
Partner and sponsor.
and
Yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, quite.
QCell.
Quite. Yeah.
All right, and we are very much grateful with the management for definitely coming into our aid. They support us in athletics and support us in football.
Right.
When it comes to football, the other side, because we are, an allied association to GFF,
Yeah.
GFF also
Right. Okay.
support, in football. And then, of course, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education,
Sure.
whereas all schools are under, and they also support the School Sports Association. And then Ministry of Youth and Sports also, support us a lot.
Yeah. On a kind of related question, I mean, are you as an association lobbying for maybe private sector to get involved in sort of improving facilities for school sports? Because when I go abroad, not even far, Senegal and so on, and I see the facilities, I know you've said the stadium, but I think on a regional basis, are you trying to get private sector involved in kind of improving the sort of facilities nationwide for school sports, so that our young athletes can compete on decent sort of grounds and so on? Is any of that happening?
Yeah, we did try that. We tried that, but sometimes it's difficult. And I think it's only QCell that first answered,
Right. Okay.
to our aid. And we hope the partnership with QCell will grow from strength to strength.
Soon your boss. Yes.
Soon your boss. So
Yes, indeed.
and
Yeah.
so because most of these school-going children, a lot of them are QCell users.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that I can attest.
Yeah, so QCell coming in definitely is timely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
GTUs is true.
and G2 Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Yeah.
They are also a very reliable partner that supports school sports annually.
We will be there to cover it, of course, just, obviously because of the QCell, but also because we have, colleagues, myself, our colleague Gajaga, we're interested in school sports, and we want, because these are the athletes of the future. We don't know, another
absolutely.
Gina
Yeah,
Bass might
you never
emerge
know.
from this.
Yeah, exactly,
never know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
exactly.
thank you very much, Mr. Ismail Assise, President, and of course, Lamin A. Jame, the Secretary General, for coming on the program. I wish you all the best of luck. I am pretty sure it's going to be a very successful event.
And exciting.
And exciting.
And we hope to see you guys there.
We will be
we
there.
will be there.
We will be there,
We will be there.
inshallah.
Yeah, so viewers, this is all we have for today. Mr. Adame, you have to go. The news is waiting for you.
And
Yes.
blend in with the...
Mixing and blending it. Yes, viewers will be here tomorrow again. Until then, bye-bye.